Okay, yeah. So I just started capturing it, and
Okay.
so yeah, you should be seeing the map right now, the map of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tartec City, and then you can use the two scroll bars on the side to scroll up and down and see all the locations. As you can see in the corner, you can see Tartec. You can see the city's divided into two parts: High Town, Low Town, and all hail the immortal King Darian.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh,
Yeah. And so
yeah.
you notice on the different scroll bars in the, on the upper right side, there's a little zooming in bar. So you can use that to zoom in and out of the map and adjust it to your
Oh,
liking.
oh, I see. Just like Google Maps.
Yeah, it's just like Google Maps. You can zoom in and out to your liking. And if you zoom in to One Willow Avenue, you can see, you should see two character tokens there,
Yeah.
showing the characters that we'll be playing as. There's Lester on the left and then Claudia on the right. You can see those, correct?
You're right. Yep.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is one of them, I'm going to give you the ability to control this particular character. So, one second, let's see. Okay, so you should be able to move Lester however you want. Maybe try moving him. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
Yep, you can
It
move him
works.
back and forth. You can move him around, move him back and forth, and move him wherever you want on the map. Yeah, there you go. Yep, you're moving on my screen too. Very nice. Excellent. And then I'm able to move Claudia, so I can move her here and there, move her
There you go.
anywhere. And so this is basically how we'll navigate on the screen. Okay? And
Okay.
what if you click on your character, like if you click on Lester, you should see like three little bubbles above him, correct?
Yeah. The red,
Yeah.
green, and the.
Yeah, red, green, and blue. So like the red bubble, this is really cool. The red bubble can basically be like your hit points. Okay? So like say you've got 20 hit points. I've just put it in for you. You should see the number 20 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 20 hit points, and this is really cool because in combat, when you lose hit points, it automatically keeps track of it for you. So I can just put in like -5. Lester took -5 damage, and now you're at 15.
Okay.
It automatically tallies,
Okay.
HP for you,
Nice.
so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, now what I'm gonna try doing, just to see if this works well, I'm gonna try playing music, and you should be able to hear this too
Oh.
in the background. It might take a little while to start up.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wait, is that coming through your speakers or mine?
It's coming through, it's basically stuff that's been uploaded. So if you basically go to, you see on the far right, there's a whole bunch of little icons, and there's one that shows a music note. If you, that's the jukebox. So if you
Uh.
click on that, you can see the song that's currently playing.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah. So that's the song that's currently playing, and there will be a bunch of songs kind of uh,
Playing.
coinciding with the different parts of the adventure.
I think that's playing like the music right now is I think playing through the computer speakers, like the ones that are I'm on my computer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm also hearing it. Like it's if you put in
Yeah,
headphones, you'll hear it. Like it's universal.
yeah,
It's universally uploaded for both of us.
yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
yeah. So there's that. Okay, and so basically these icons at the top right here, you see there's like a word bubbles. That's basically the chat setting. So you can try typing something in there. For example, I just typed hello, and it says Jeremy Blum, GM. I'm the game master. You can try typing something too
Okay.
if you want to. All of the information that happens during the game will pop up alongside here, like all of the attacks and stuff like that. Strength through length, says Joshua B. Dingus, says Jeremy B. Game Master. Alright.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, and so, um,
How quickly it turns to potty humor.
Yeah, how quickly it turns to potty humor. So, one other thing, going through these options on the top screen, you can see an art library. You probably won't be able to see anything there. Those are basically all the assets and images I've uploaded for our adventure.
Okay.
I don't think you can see any of those at the moment, but if you click on the next one, you should see something that says journal. These are all the journal entries that you'll unlock as we play. Your character has a journal and he'll be like taking notes as you play. And so you should see, what do you see there right now?
Wait, is this on the far right?
Yeah, far right. It's the third icon on the far right. It's called journal.
I just see D&D 5th edition.
D&D 5th edition. Okay, don't worry about that. Let me, here. You should see something now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Maybe a list. Oh, son of the esteemed merchant. Yeah, Mortimer. Okay.
Yeah, so as you play through the game, you'll unlock journal entries on every character. So this is the first one for yourself. That's
Okay.
me, Lester LeFoe, son of the esteemed Mortimer LeFoe and current owner of the LeFoe Detective Agency. I'm nothing special, I guess, just your average private detective trying to make it in the city and live up to my father's name. Claudia says I have daddy issues.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is your character. Bio
Okay.
and it's got 3 tabs. You'll see bio and information, and then the next one is character sheet. And try clicking on that.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
this is your character sheet. We've made one of these before, but everything is on here for you. All the information that you need.
Huh. Lester has a keen mind for detail. He'd be quite devoted to a case when the occasion calls for it. Personality traits. Detective's bread and butter is helping people, and Lester has satisfaction from doing so. The influence of his father has left him with a fine sense of justice and ideals. He is fond of Claudia, has a strong connection with his father, though it wavers between love and hate on a regular basis, sort of just bonds. Flaws: he's most comfortable working, a bit of a socially awkward guy at times, especially around women, except for Claudia, suffers from a lack of self-confidence, likely due to his father's harsh standards.
Yeah. And so if you look at the stuff on the top, you'll see that you're actually level 3. I'm starting both of us off at level 3, because that's where our interesting abilities kick in. You're human, you're neutral good, and so when you start at level 3, you automatically have 900 experience points, and you're a detective. That's your background. And then if you look on the far left, you can see your character stats. And so Joshua, is a change from last time, is you're actually playing someone who's kind of semi-intelligent at this point.
Oh,
Yeah. So, like, you have 12. 10, like, the number 10 is kind of like average. And so you have slightly above average strength. You have 12 strength. You're very dexterous. Like, you're pretty fast. You're good at moving. And so that's 14. Constitution would be how hardy you are, how healthy you are. You're 11, so you're only a little bit above average. Kind of your typical guy, but a little bit stronger than a normal person. You are smart, though. You have 13 for intelligence and 13 for wisdom, and you're fairly charismatic. Not hugely charismatic, but you got 12 for there.
Oh, he's above average.
Yeah, so you're above average. And then if you look at all your skills here, don't worry about saving throws right now. Basically what this means is that over the course of the game, sometimes you might need to make a saving dice throw, and you specialize in saving throws for dexterity and intelligence. So dexterity as in being fast, speedy, doing backflips, intelligence in figuring stuff out. Yeah. And then if you look at your skills, your character is skilled at deception, history, insight, investigation, medicine, and perception. So it's basically all stuff that like a detective would be particularly skilled in. And all this means that every now and then I'll ask you to do a check based on one of these skills. And you're particularly, you see the numbers next to each one, like 3 next to deception, 3 next to history. So when you do a roll, you get to add that little modifier. So in order to make a success.
What is it? Checking my privileges?
Oh, it's well, checking your skills in this case.
Checking your skills. That's right. That's right.
And you have a short sword at the moment. That's your weapon of choice. Basically, whenever you use a short sword, it does a piercing damage, and then the formula next to it is just the dice roll that happens when you do a short sword, and I can explain that later. If you scroll down, you can see your equipment. You're currently carrying a short sword in your journal, where you maintain all of your notes, and you have 3.5 pounds of stuff right now. To the left of that, you can see your tool proficiencies and custom skills. You currently have a set of detective tools on you, and that's basically like a magnifying glass, like a file, basically a pair of pliers and a lockpick. Yeah, and you can actually write stuff on this little character sheet as well. Like if you click the plus symbol, you can choose to add something. Yeah, you can choose to add something and remove it. And so you can be editing this as time goes on. And then below that, you only know one language, which is the common language. You have you're proficient in using light armor, so you can't really wear like heavy like steel armor. That's not really your type of thing. You're good at using simple weapons, so simple weapons would be like daggers, kind of like brass knuckles, stuff like that. You're good at using short swords and hand crossbows. Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then if you look on the right, under your features and traits, these are all the abilities that your character currently has. I've written them out for you. The first one is, you have a couple abilities for your class. The first one is cunning action. So in combat, you have quick thinking, and that you can use a bonus action to do various things like dash away from an enemy, disengage from an enemy, or hide. The next one is sneak attack. So in combat, you actually have a sneak attack option that you can choose to use if you have advantage on an enemy. And I'll explain what advantage is later. You have insightful fighting, so you basically have the ability to, when you're fighting an opponent, you can kind of determine a strategy to use against them. You can, take note of, which arm are they using to fight with, and you can try to target that one, or you can kind of discern how they're moving and basically develop a tactical way to try to take them down. Think of it as in like martial arts, like you might try to sweep an opponent's leg or target a weak body part, something like that. It doesn't always work, because basically what you need to do is you need to make a check in order for this to succeed, and we'll get into that later. The next one is eye for detail, and this is another combat ability. Sometimes in combat you might want to see if like a creature is hiding around you, like if a creature is camouflaged or something like that. And so this basically lets you spot camouflaged opponents.
Got it.
And then finally, the last one is eye for deceit, and this is currently the only one of your abilities that you can use outside of combat. And what it is it lets you make a wisdom check to determine whether or not a person is lying. Okay? And so basically, whenever you roll dice to determine whether or not someone is lying, you can treat a roll of 7 or lower on the 20-sided dice as an 8. So it increases your chances of figuring out whether someone is lying to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have an eye for deceit, an eye for detail, and you're an insightful fighter who can potentially use sneak attacks. You have 20 hit points at the moment. You can see your hit point maximum up here. 30 speed, and you have an armor class of 12. Which means that if enemies want to hit you and they try to make a dice roll, they need to hit higher than 12 in order for the attack to be a success. Yeah.
What does the initiative mean?
Initiative is, don't worry about that. That's basically, every character class gains a certain amount of initiative, and initiative comes into play when you, when the attack order is determined. But you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, don't really worry about it too much. So if you see on the top of your character sheet, there's like a red tab that says core, and there's one next to it that says bio and spells. Try clicking on the bio one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just gives you more information on your character appearance. and then your backstory. The backstory is the same as in the document that I sent you a while ago, just talking about how you're the son of a famous detective trying to maintain his detective agency after his passing, and Claudia is your assistant, and your recent cases have been really boring, and you're hoping for something more exciting.
Okay.
Yeah. Allies and organizations, basically just your assistant Claudia right now. But yeah, you're welcome to write on this. I think you should be able to edit it. Like if you click on the Allies and Organizations tab, you should be able to type in something.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. And then if you look at the other thing, so right now the bio tab is in red. If you look at spells, you don't have any spells. You're not a magic user. Yeah. So you don't really have the cabeza for magic, but you have plenty of other interesting abilities to make up for it.
There's one thing to hear on one of them. It says cantrips. What's that?
Yeah, cantrips are basically every magic user in Dungeons and Dragons. They have basically some spells that are really, really, really easy to use, and they don't have to prepare each day. Because normally magic users need to prepare spells each day. Cantrips, they don't need to prepare them. It's like super easy spells, like making a tiny puff of flame appear above your hand, or something like that, or like making like a tiny ball of water appear. It's like simple stuff. You don't have them anyways, so so you don't need to worry about them. So basically the only tabs on here you need to really worry about are core and bio if you want to write down notes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you can on bio you can also see that you're 5'10", 160 pounds, and you're 25 years old.
Okay.
And you are pale. You are a pale man from spending too much time inside studying the books. Any questions so far?
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, now so that's Lester's information, and now I'm going to share with you Claudia's. Do you see Claudia's info?
Yeah.
Yep. So, Claudia Copperhoof, my trusty assistant for about 6 months now. She's done a great job thus far of keeping me up to date with my cases. She's a little overly excitable at times, especially when shouting out stuff like, "The game is afoot!" Also, that lamb of hers, Hubert, keeps chewing on my case files and makes my little office even more of a mess than it already is. Still, at this point, it's hard to imagine the LeFoe Detective Agency without Claudia. So this is Claudia, and she's got a lamb. And I'll let you see her character sheet because you've known her for about 6 months, so you'll kind of you kind of already are familiar with what she's like. And so if you click on the character sheet tab, you can see her stats. And I don't know, if you have both windows open right now, your own and hers, you can actually compare them and see who's better at what.
Oh, okay. Wait, how do I get to her character sheet?
So do you have her bio and info tab open in front of you right now?
Yeah, it doesn't have a tab for that on my screen.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Maybe that's just you.
Do you see it now?
Let me try to open it again. No, I just say it just says bio and info, so maybe that's just you for your.
Try it now, actually. I just shared it with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You see it now?
Yep.
Yeah, so she's similar to you in some ways. She's chaotic good instead of neutral good, which means she's a little more unpredictable. And then you can see her personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Basically, she's pretty cheerful and optimistic, even in the face of trouble. After becoming a detective, she realizes that she enjoys solving problems and assisting people. She also cares for animals. Under bonds, it says, Claudia probably believes in Lester more than he believes in himself. She's strongly loyal to him, Hubert, which is her pet lamb, and her friends at Mother Metheny Ann's, which is like the boarding house that she lives in Tartec. For flaws, she's very young and get caught up in wild ideas without properly thinking them through. She's also quite loud at times and tends to be disdainful and distrusting of people in high society. And if you look at stuff on the side, actually, so when I created these two characters, I basically rolled dice in order to determine their stats. You actually got pretty low rolls. Claudia got really high rolls. So
Wow, yeah, she got.
yeah, so she's really dexterous. Actually, her dexterity is really high. Her constitution
Yeah,
is a little higher than you, and I put that up to the fact that she kind of walks around wearing like, heavy furs. Like if you look at her
yeah,
picture, she's got like heavy furs on and a big turban on. So she's wearing like fairly sturdy clothing, whereas you've got like a suit on.
yeah.
Her intelligence is the same as yours. Yeah, 13. Wisdom is a little bit higher than you. So wisdom, the difference between wisdom and intelligence, if you forgot, wisdom is like street smarts, and intelligence is
Right.
book smarts. So she comes from kind of like a countryside background, so she obviously has more street smarts. And then
Her
her,
intelligence.
yeah, her intelligence is 13. Yeah.
Charisma. Wow.
Charisma is really high, yeah. So she's very charismatic. She's able to talk to people and convince them to do things quite well.
Yeah.
And then if you look at her skills, she specializes in slightly different things than you. She's better at acrobatics and animal handling than you are. She has more knowledge in nature. You both have knowledge of perception. You both can perceive a lot of things in the world around you. But she's good at performance, so she's able to like act and kind of masquerade as other people. And she's stealthier than you.
Huh.
Yeah. If you look at attacks, she has a quarterstaff that she uses, and then she also has Hubert, which is her pet lamb, and he gets his own character stat because every now and then, like, she can use him to attack, basically.
Oh.
Yeah. And if you scroll down, she has the same set of detective tools that you have. File, lockpicks, a magnifying glass. She also has a disguise kit, though. And so what a disguise kit is basically like a makeup kit, essentially, that you can potentially use to disguise yourself as someone else. It's a makeup kit and wigs, pretty much.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For language, armor, and weapons, same stuff as you. She's proficient in the same sort of things as you're holding. If you're at equipment, she's actually carrying more weight than you at the moment. She's carrying like 20 pounds because her quarterstaff weighs more. And then she has this little thing called a bag of holding. You should see that there. And so a bag of holding is like a magical Dungeons and Dragons item. Basically what it is, it's a sack that it's kind of got like a black hole, a magical black hole inside of it, and it can hold up to 500 pounds. You can put whatever you want in the sack, and it's like almost like a bottomless pit. So the sack itself only weighs 15 pounds, but it can hold 500 pounds, and the size of something doesn't matter. You can basically put like a rake or like a huge book into the sack, and it'll just get sucked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like if you think back to like the old adventure games we used to play, like King's Quest 6, like Alexander always had a huge inventory of stuff he was carrying. Well, that's kind of like this.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a bag of holding, and within the story of the game, when your character Lester met Claudia, she already had this bag of holding, this magical item, and you're not exactly sure how she got it, but she has it.
It's a magic.
Yeah, it's a magic item. It's just an enchanted item. And the interesting thing about it is her pet lamb, Hubert, he stays in the sack most of the time. Yeah. And so if you look at her features and traits on the right, her first feature is called Hubert Strike. So in combat, basically, every now and then she can choose to roll an extra dice, and if it rolls higher than 12, then Hubert can pop out of the bag of holding and attack before popping back in.
Okay.
So she's got a little animal in the sack, and so he can occasionally pop in and out.
Yeah.
She has some of the same abilities as you because she's technically a rogue as well. She also has a cunning action, and she also has a sneak attack. But her last two abilities are a little different. She has one called Master of Tactics, which means that in combat she can use the help action as a bonus action. Basically, she can help you to kind of have advantage on your next attack, which basically means that you're able to roll twice. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But think story-wise, like she can like navigate around the battlefield and set up an attack for you. So, for example, if you try to attack someone and if you want to sweep their leg, she can help you out and get you into an advantageous position so that you're more likely to sweep their leg. Yeah. Her second ability is Master of Intrigue, and it just says that she's proficient with the disguise kit and can unerringly mimic the speech patterns and accent of a creature that she hears speak for at least 1 minute. So,
Nice.
and then if you click on her bio, it's the same as you. It just shows off some information on her character appearance. She's a tan girl with brown bushy hair, always wears a distinct floppy turban on her head, and is accompanied by her pet lamb, who likes to wrap himself around her neck when he's not in her bag folding. She carries a large crooked quarterstaff and is pretty mean with it when necessary. And then the character backstory is the stuff I gave you. She's from a small shepherd village, and then she was orphaned after barbarian tribes from the wildlands killed her parents, and she grew up under her grandmother, and after her grandmother passed away, she moved to the big city with her pet lamb. She's staying at a boarding house called Mother Metheny Ann's Boarding House, a boarding house for young women, and she was fired from a variety of jobs, but then became your assistant after you helped her find her lamb who got stuck in the toilet. The toilet of a pastry shop. And since she didn't really have any money to pay you, she became your assistant. And so she's worked with you for the past 6 months, and she writes your case files and, you know, helps you out with a lot of stuff. If you look at treasure, you can see that because she's holding this magical bag of holding, that's listed there as a treasure. So the bag of holding can hold up to 500 pounds and weighs 15 pounds regardless of its contents. It's currently holding 100 pounds because Hubert is a fat ass and he's inside there. Yeah. So allies and organizations is you, Mother Metheny Ann, which is the woman that runs the boarding house, and Joan and Alice are 2 friends of hers that you'll encounter later. She's 18 years old, 5 feet 4 inches, 115 pounds, and brown eyes, tan skin, and brown hair. And she doesn't have spells either. Both of you are not magic users.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's her information. So now, if you X out of that stuff, and if you click on the little icon on the right that says Journal, you should see both Claudia and Lester's information. There is an option to click on. Do you see that?
Let's see. Wait, which one is the journal one again? The third one or second one?
The third one.
Third one. No, I just see like D&D 5th edition.
Let me see. Let's see if I can make this available to you.
The second one, I see they're like character sheets, but
try it again. So when you click on the third tab, do you see a tab that says characters?
Yeah. Well, it's second on my thing.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So when you click on that, what happens? When you click on the little plus sign next to it, what do you see?
Yeah. Then I see their bio and their character sheet and their attributes and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you see Claudia and Lester right now, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess it's slightly different for me because I'm playing as the game master. But you're able to like double click on them, and then the character sheet should pop up, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try sharing one more with you, just to make sure. So, in this game, you're playing as Lester, and obviously, you're the son of a great detective. So it makes sense that you would know about your father.
Okay.
So, if you look under characters now, you should see something, a bio for your father available, Mortimer LeFoe.
Okay. My father, the late Mortimer LeFoe. Originally a historian, he founded the LeFoe Detective Agency 20 years ago after gaining renown as a private consulting investigator within the city. When I was a child, everyone knew his name. His fame only grew when he played a pivotal role in dismantling the Gostinstein crime family. He finally passed away 2 years ago after a long bout of illness. some ways he's everything I want to be. In other ways, I hate him. He might have been a famous detective, but the old man was never a good father, especially after my mother died. I was never able to live up to his standard while he was still alive, and I feel like a specter looms over me still.
Yes. So that's your old man. Your pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically as we play the game and as you meet new and interesting characters, you'll slowly unlock more information on them.
Okay.
And you'll be able to refer back to the information when you forget who someone is and want to know more about them. So this is like in-game terms, it's like the journal that you keep and the notes that you keep on everyone. Yeah. So you start out knowing about yourself, about Claudia, and about Mortimer. Okay, so that's basically the journal entry of, or basically the journal function of Roll20. Okay, and so that's pretty much the basics. If you look on the far right, the far left of your screen, you should see other icons there, like an arrow and a square and a brush and stuff like that. Do you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on the brush, you can actually draw all over the map if you want to try it. Yep, there you go. You can draw whatever you want. You can draw a big dingus right here. You should see that. Yep. You can basically draw however you want, and this is pretty good for, highlighting key things that you want to pay attention to, and it's got a couple different colors available.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I can always clear all the drawings all at once, like that. Yeah. And so if on this particular map for 1 Willow Avenue, where your office is like right here on the map. It's like that building right here. This is the street where everything is. And another interesting thing is I can do as the game master. You should check this out. Do you see that?
Oh yeah.
So basically, that's me.
Oh,
it's like pinging, like points of interest. So right here, this would be the 1 Willow Avenue, the location of the LeFoe Detective Agency. Okay, that's where you live, pretty much. All right. Now, if you move around the map, Lura Square. This is the main central area of town, and it's an area where all social classes kind of mix. This area right here, the manors, this is where the richest people live, the nobility of Tartec, kind of on this little kind of mountaintop area looking down on everyone. Yeah. If you move to the right a little bit, the docks, it's pretty self-explanatory. And the city graveyard is right here. It's basically kind of a decrepit area where a lot of gravestones are and where people are buried, obviously. Further to the right, Tartec Castle. That's where our good friend King Darian is, of course. And then if you look down on sort of the legend on the bottom right part of the map, you can see High Town and Low Town, kind of two divisions of town. The High Town is outlined in blue and Low Town is in red. And High Town is basically where the richer people live. It's kind of where the richer segments of society live, the upper middle class. And then Low Town, which is all the stuff that's outlined in red. As you can see, it covers the docks and the graveyard. It's kind of where the normal human beings live and the poor people. And your office is actually in Low Town because your father established it there. And as a detective, you would kind of want to hang out with like the lower class of society, the dregs of society, because that's where most of your connections are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing like back in the 13th Hour, Aurora had worked in an inn. I'm guessing it probably would have been somewhere here in this map, because she could see the castle from there.
Yeah, and it was not a very good inn. It was pretty crappy, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so she could see the castle from here, and Logan, when he's like stationed and working on like the towers, he probably would have been like on those two towers there, and she could see him. Yeah, and so actually like right here, this part right here, that's like the main entrance. And so the main entrance to Tartec, you walk through, and then you're sort of in High Town for a little bit, but then it quickly turns crappy if you keep on walking in like this direction here.
Oh I see.
it quickly becomes crappy and not so good. And so basically the blue area is just, rent is really expensive, and nobles live there, and it ends up on this great mountaintop area called the Manors, which is really nice and overlooks everything else. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And so Lura Square is like the one part of town where the different social classes mix, where like people, you can see nobles walking past the poor people. Yep. So, do you have any particular questions? That's pretty much all the major stuff.
There was a part where in the 13th Hour where an artist assaulted Aurora.
Yes.
Pushed her over, and then Logan broke his cane. I'm guessing that was probably over here.
Yeah, so Lura Square is where you can find a lot of marketplace stalls and artists. And so, yeah, it would have been over there, and so it would have happened in an area where a lot of people could have potentially seen it. The assault happened kind of in Lura Square, and so it's a popular trading area where the Tartec police force is a common sight. So, yeah, it would have happened there.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And
there was an inn in the book.
Yeah, the inn. Where do you think it would be?
The Crimson Blade.
Yeah, the Crimson Blade. It was a bit of a crap hole too. So it probably would have been like somewhere around here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have been somewhere around here. And actually the area where the Imperial Rangers train, they train in like a camp outside of the city, right?
I don't think I had it quite. I thought they were training in the castle. But,
okay, so so if they were training in the, what I kind of imagine is they're kind of training in the castle, like here in these sort of areas in the back, like these training areas. And I also imagine that there's like, they might go on like morning jogs and stuff, and like train, like go up and down this mountain and like run some laps around this lighthouse here, and then have to go back. And I imagine I imagine the area where like Logan was like dancing with the wind was like around here or something like that.
Around there.
Logan. I'm trying to write Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously this is the Blue River that kind of runs past the city, and the major ships are here. So when Logan went on that ship to start his quest, it would have been like right here or something like that, the ship area, and then they would have traveled out like there and then sailed up and around the coast to find the potion of eternal life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things right now, this is Tartec. This is where all the action in the campaign will take place. And currently, what's happening is, it's a couple years after the events of the 13th Hour have taken place, and King Darian is widely regarded as immortal. He's got the mystical potion known as coffee at his fingertips. He's always walking around with a coffee cup, feeling very full of energy. And every year he's declared a holiday called Immortality Day, and that's the day when he became immortal and first drank from the potion. And so right now it's 3 days to Immortality Day, and Immortality Day, all the good stuff happens in Lura Square. There's like a big party in Lura Square. A lot of the nobles come down from their homes to go participate in the square, and a lot of the poor people crowd around, and to enjoy the free food. Because King Darian does, he's thrown some pretty lavish parties on Immortality Day. And so right now in Lura Square, there's people setting up, stands. And there's this year there's going to be a statue unveiled, a great statue of King Darian in the middle of the square. King Darian potentially holding a coffee cup. It's being hidden under a gigantic tarp right now, so nobody really knows what it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is, that's all the backstory we need, and that's kind of all the info we need. Okay. So,
are the wizards still alive? Are the two wizards still alive at this point?
Yes. William and Wander are alive and well, and they are living in Tartec Castle.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. And the Imperial Rangers, the all-female Imperial Ranger Brigade, they are being sent out on missions to potentially find the Potion of Eternal Youth, because King Darian's already got eternal life. He wants to be young now. So they're being sent out to find eternal youth, and you can sometimes, see them throughout the city. The other major unit in the city is the Tartec police force, and they're a bunch of putzes. So this is some background info. The current captain of the Tartec police force is named Captain Smalldong, and he has been newly promoted. You don't know him very well. You knew the previous captain of the police force, Captain Stroker. You knew him because he worked with your father. Because a private detective would be friends with like the police captain, obviously. But your father died, and Captain Stroker died, and then Captain Smalldong is now the leader of the police guard. He doesn't like you very well because he considers private detectives to be amateurs, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. So that is that, and that's actually all the background info I need to give you. And so yeah, I mean, we could potentially start playing or call it quits for now. It's up to you.
Yeah, why don't we start playing for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. We can start playing for a little bit. Okay, so basically, at this point in time, you and Claudia are actually starting this adventure off in the middle of a case. Okay, and so what's happened is that you have an employer named Evelyn. Okay, and I'm going to share some information with you. Evelyn, I'll show it to you. You should see a new character sheet pop up in front of you. Yes. So Evelyn is the owner of Evelyn's Emporium of the Exotic. Okay? She travels the world collecting unusual trinkets, strange treasures, and rare beasts for her zoo/circus, which is renowned everywhere. Rumor has it that even the elves down south and the barbarian tribes of the wildlands are fans of Evelyn's Emporium. So she's known far and wide. She's basically got a traveling zoo. Okay? And actually, this particular Evelyn is the second to bear the name and inherited the Emporium from her mother. And you wonder if she too had parental issues growing up like you did. Yeah. So Evelyn, she runs an emporium of strange and mysterious beasts, and basically she has traveled to Tartec to participate in Immortality Day, and so she's got a zoo that she's setting up in the middle of Lura Square. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And you're familiar with her. Like, you've seen her in Tartec in the past. She's like a kind of like a yearly sight in the city. Okay? And I'm just going to add her to your journal. So, yeah. Okay, so Evelyn, her character entry is now available in your journal tab, and so you'll always be able to refer back to her if you forget what she looks like or what she wants from you. Okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so earlier in the day, she actually came to One Willow Avenue with a request, and her request was that you find her missing orangutan. So one of the animals in her zoo is an orangutan named Olivia. Olivia the orangutan is usually a very kind and friendly orangutan that just likes doing backflips. But something happened. Something happened on this morning. Olivia suddenly flew into a rage in the very early hours of the morning. And then she broke out of her cage and then started running around Lura Square, basically like a mad chimpanzee. So this chimp, she broke out of her cage and then started running around the square. And then she started running through town. And Evelyn has been chasing her all day. She's caused a lot of property damage along the way. Like, she's knocked over a few people, one or two, people of high importance throughout the city, and she's knocked over some stuff. And so Evelyn's lost her. And she already knows you, and she's asked you two to try to find her, because if you don't find this escaped orangutan, then the Tartec police guard is probably going to try to hunt her down and kill her. Okay? And Olivia is, is a favorite of Evelyn's zoo, pretty much.
What's the name of the orangutan?
The orangutan's Olivia.
Oh, Olivia. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and Evelyn is her owner. So the escaped orangutan Olivia. And so you and Claudia have spent the day retracing the steps of Olivia, and you've tracked her down to the docks. Okay?
Gotcha.
You tracked her down to the docks, and that is where our adventure will begin. A great adventure to try to find an escaped orangutan. All right.
Nice.
Any questions before we begin?
No, I don't think so.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to the docks. What do you see right now?
I just see the map. Should I zoom in?
Let's see. I've just changed. So I've just changed the screen, and so 1 second.
Yeah.
You just see the map right now? Is anything new loading for you?
It says loading.
Okay, yeah. Just wait for it to load.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. Hey, I can see you on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do at the moment is I'm just gonna exit out of Messenger so we don't have two voices going on all at once.
Okay. That's good. Oh wait. Let's see.
Yeah. So we should be. This is what I was talking about. We should be able to just talk on here. You see?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So here we are. You're here at the docks, and you should see yourself, Lester, and Claudia. And let me just put in your HP. You have 20 HP right there, and then Claudia has 13. All right. So now I've stopped the music for now. I'm just going to change the music, and all right. So you and Claudia have tracked this escaped orangutan to the docks and are trying to figure out where she might be. And so right now it's like probably like 8 o'clock p.m. Okay? And the docks have fairly emptied out, and you can see that, you know, all the boats have kind of placed in their moors, and, you know, the fishermen have mostly gone home for the day. Okay? The docks are empty, and you and Claudia are searching about for an escaped orangutan. Alright? And Claudia says, "Oh, we need to find her before the Tartec police, the boys in blue, shoot her full of crossbow holes." Alright?
Yeah.
So, what do you want to do? You can look around, do whatever you want. It's up to you. Feel free to move. Feel free to move your Lester and search about. And feel free to ask me if you want to, like, look around the environment or, you know, look out for clues.
We're in the docks, right?
Yes, you're in the docks.
Okay. Well, I'm looking around. Who do I see around me?
Okay, so you don't see anything around you. You do see some fishermen boats. Try moving a little bit. Try moving to a certain location.
Okay.
Oh, are you able to move? Hold on. Let me just make sure you can.
I moved to the edge of like the docks here.
Did you move your character, or do you want me to move it for you?
I already moved it. Yeah.
Oh, you moved it. For some reason, I can't see. Wait up 1 second. Let me just make sure I can. Let me just make sure you can move. Lester and edit. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Okay, try moving again, Josh.
I sent you my favorite orangutan GIF on Facebook Messenger.
Oh, nice. I'll take a look in a second. Yeah, try moving again, because for some reason you weren't actually moving on my screen.
Do you see it moving?
I do not for some reason. Let's... Okay, hold on for a second. Do you? Okay, so I just moved you. Do you see that?
Where did you move me to?
Oh, yeah. So you can't see when I'm moving you around the map right now. You can't see it right now.
No. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let me figure out a way to. Do you see Claudia move?
No.
No. Okay, let me figure this out. So you should be able to move your character, and then I see it. Let me.
Yeah, that seems like that would be kind of important.
Let's see. Should be a way to move you around. Having technical difficulties as usual.
Close that little GIF there until I look at it.
Players' journals can be edited and controlled by Joshua Blue. Let's go back for 1 second. I'm gonna go back to the main map. You should be loading the main city map again.
Oh, see, it never changed for me from that.
Oh, it never changed. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So try moving Lester right now. Yeah. Okay. Great. I can see it now. Okay. I need to change the new screen for you. Okay. So you were still on the old screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah. Let me just go to a new screen. Let's see.
I was on the main city map before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I know. Okay. Now I need to figure out how to change to a new screen. I've never done this before. I'm actually just going to look it up. Roll 20. How to change page. Oh, I know. Okay, here we go, Josh. Here we go. Check this out. You should be loading.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
Oh, okay.
There we go. You were stuck on an old. Yeah, I had to move like a bookmark. Now we're on the docks. You see the docks now?
Okay.
Yeah. We're on the docks now. All right. So try move. Now you can move Lester around.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. So now, tell me what you want to do. Claudia's following behind you,
okay.
Looking around for this escaped orangutan.
Okay. Can I go in this hut thing here or whatever it is?
So basically, it's like a fisherman's hut, and you can like walk underneath it and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what do I see to the left?
Okay, stay to the left. So So Claudia asks you, do you want to split up, Lester? It's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, let's not just yet.
All right.
Let's look down like this way. To the left. Left is these guys. Let's see what's down there.
Okay. Give me a. So I'm going to ask you to make a check, actually. Okay. So. Yeah, I'm going to check your privileges, basically. And so I'm going to, I'll show this to you. Go to your character sheet.
Yeah.
You see your character sheet in front of you? And I'd recommend to maybe just keep this open and on the side if you want to. Or I can always make it pop up for you when you want it to pop up. But basically what you're going to do now is you're going to make a perception check, okay? You're going to make a perception check to figure out what you see around you. All right, and so what you want to do is you see on the left side, you see there's a little icon that shows a multi-sided die.
Left side, multi-sided die.
The left side of the screen. There's a little icon that shows a die right above the question mark.
this. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, and so when you click on that, a little menu should pop up called Dice Roller. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all the dice that you use in the game. It automatically does for you. So,
nice. Okay.
So try clicking on the D20 one. Okay, and now the screen should go black and it should say click and drag to roll the dice. Oh, you rolled it. Nice. See? You see the die? You see the die rolling around?
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah, try rolling it again. Try rolling. It's just so you get the hang of it. A little 3D die should pop up on the screen and roll around.
It says like 16, 17, that thing.
Yeah. Well, if you so all of your dice rolls will show up on the right side here. This keeps track of all your dice rolls in the game. Okay. And then actually, you should actually see like a little 3-dimensional die like roll around on the screen as you roll. I don't know if you're able to see that.
It might be happening behind these windows here.
Yeah. Get rid of the windows and then try rolling again. Do you see like a little 3D die rolling around? You should see it.
No. Anyway.
Okay, well,
That's
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you should see like a little, like I just made a roll, and basically what happens when you click on the screen, a little 3D dice should pop up, and you should be able to see it. But yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, okay. So you rolled a. Let's look at you rolled quite a few things. Roll again, just to finalize it.
9.
Okay, you rolled a 9, and so looking at your character sheet right here, you rolled a 9 on a perception check, and so you get +3, a little +3 modifier, so 9, 10, 11, 12, because you're good at perceiving things. So you rolled a 12, which is good, because this isn't that hard to perceive. And so what you notice is a whole bunch of underneath this fisherman's hut right here. You notice some yellow stains on the ground. Yeah. You notice a trail of yellow stains that kind of go up and down the docks here. You can take a closer look at them if you want.
Yes, I would like to do that. Methinks it is perhaps urine.
It is actually not urine. It is actually banana remnants, like chewed up pieces of banana that have been like smushed around, and you can see that there's actually like a whole shipment of bananas underneath the little fisherman's hut here. Yeah, bananas that have been brought in from the southern parts of the known world.
Okay.
And so Claudia says, "Oh, it appears that there's a banana trail. It appears that old Olivia's been chomping down on the fruits." So you can you got this banana trail in your sights right now.
Okay, why don't we follow the trail?
Okay, you feel free to move yourself.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Olivia is coming up behind you, following the banana trail, and it ends in a bunch of boxes here. These boxes are actually full of bananas, and you can see that someone's broken into them and been munching on the bananas and been chewing them all over the place. And the trail continues in this direction.
Can I move over there?
Okay, and then as you move over in this direction, Claudia says, "Be careful of this gigantic net right here." This is like a big fisherman's net on the ground.
Oh,
yeah.
Thing here.
Yeah. Okay, and so as you move around the corner, you basically hear sounds. You hear like munching sounds.
Got it. Okay. Can I look in the direction of the sound? See what I can see?
Okay, so you look in the direction of the sounds, and you see. I'll show you in just a second. You see her?
Yes.
You see Claudia, or no, not Claudia. You see Olivia, the orangutan. So one interesting aside thing I want to point out to you is that you can zoom in on any character token by like clicking on it and then pressing Z, and then a close-up of it should emerge.
Oh, okay. Zoom.
Yeah. Are you able to see that?
I can zoom in. Yeah, I can zoom in all the way.
Well,
I see the little picture.
Yeah. But another way to do it is by, for example, if you just click on like your character token, like if you click on yourself, if you click on Lester, and then all those like those dots pop up, and then press Z, what should happen is like you should load like a close-up picture. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a way to examine like things without zooming all the way in. So you should be able to load like a little close-up of Olivia the orangutan.
Oh. I cannot do that, but I can do it with the others.
Okay, you can do it with the others. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you see Olivia hunched over this little hut, and she's stuffing bananas into her face. Like she's raging. She's very like energetic, and she's stuffing lots and lots of bananas into her face. And then Claudia walks up to you and says, "Okay, Lester, remember what Evelyn told us." And then she hands over to you an object that Evelyn gave you earlier this morning. It is basically a syringe full of animal tranquilizer. Okay. And earlier this morning, Evelyn told you that because Olivia the orangutan is going nuts, when you find her, you gotta try to stab her with this syringe at least 2 times. Okay, if you can stab her with the syringe at least 2 times, it should trank her and make her calm again. Okay. All right. So right now, Olivia hasn't seen you yet. She's too busy stuffing her face.
The orangutan with the crossbow.
You don't have a crossbow at the moment. You only have a short sword. Okay. You've only got a short sword. And Olivia the orangutan has not seen you yet.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we have to. Can I sneak up here? Actually, who's better at? Let me see. Who's better at that stealth stuff? I think it's Claudia. I think is better at that, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't she have like the ability of stealth? Yeah.
Yeah, so Claudia says, "All right, what you want me to do, Lester? I'll try my best."
Well, have her. Can she go up to sneak up to the this area where the orangutan is, and then then do the first jab.
Okay. All right, so Claudia is going to make a stealth roll. All right. She's going to make a stealth check to see if she can stealthily creep up on Olivia the orangutan. So Claudia gets in front of you. I'm assuming you guys are like right behind each other, right there.
Yeah.
And then Claudia says, "Oh, Lester, always making me do the dirty work, as usual."
Ladies first.
Oh, thanks a lot, Lester. Real kind of you. Claudia has a fondness for animals too. You're making her stab an innocent furry being. Alright, so let's see. She is going to give it a go. Alright, so she is going to make a stealth check in order to see if she can properly sneak up on the orangutan. Alright, so let's see. What did she roll? Oh, okay, so she rolled a d20, and she got a natural 20, which means that she's super stealthy, okay? So
nice.
She's like, "Alright, Lester, I'm gonna do it." Okay, so she takes the syringe in her hand, and she does a little tiptoe. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. And she's like, "Lester, you're just gonna stand back there with your ass in the ground, or you're gonna follow and back me up."
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so I'm following.
Okay, you tiptoe all the way up to the escaped orangutan, okay? And then Claudia sneaks up behind Olivia, and then she, with the syringe in her right hand, she jumps forward and then smacks the syringe right into the back of Olivia's ass. Okay?
The buttocks.
Right into the buttocks. Okay, and Olivia right here, check this out. Olivia right here, the escaped orangutan, suddenly notices you guys, and she is pissed off. She's flashing.
Alright.
Okay, and so what happens is she jumps up and down, and then she knocks both of you backwards. You fall here, and then Claudia falls backwards into this side of the docks. Okay, and now we are going to enter a little combat simulation. Going to change the music.
First combat.
First combat against an orangutan. Alright. Okay, and so both you and both you and Claudia have been knocked backwards, and then this girl right here, Olivia, the escaped orangutan, oops, I just made her too big. She's jumping back and forth, and she's really angry. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to roll for initiative, just to determine who goes first in battle. Okay, what the turn order is. So what I want you to do is I want you to roll a d20 for me.
Roll the 4.
You rolled a 4. That is pretty low. Okay, 4. And then previously you asked what if you look on your character sheet, there was a section that said initiative, and yours had a 2 on it. So whenever you make an initiative roll, you always get to add 2.
Okay, so 6.
So it's actually a 6. All right. So right now I'm going to establish the turn order. Okay. Okay. So if you look at so on those tabs on the left side, above the dice one, there's a clock. Do you see it?
Clock.
Yeah, a little clock icon. On the left, above the dice that you clicked, the dice option that you clicked on.
Okay.
Do you see it?
It looks like a ruler, I think.
Below the ruler, there's an eye. Do you see the eye? No? Oh, okay, you might... Maybe you don't see it. Maybe only I see it. Okay, but basically, I'm just... there's an option where I can set up a turn order for people. Okay, so you rolled a 6. Alright, now I'm going to see what Claudia rolled. Okay, Claudia rolled an 8, and then adding her initiative is an 11. Okay, so Claudia ended up rolling an 11. I'm just going to add her. Okay, Claudia rolled an 11. Alright, and now I'm going to see what the orangutan rolled. Let's see if she ends up going first. Alright, the orangutan rolled... the orangutan only rolled a 3. And let me see if they have any modifiers on it. Okay, the orangutan rolled a 3 plus 2, which is 5. Okay, so the orangutan will go after you. Claudia gets to go first, because she rolled the highest. Alright?
Okay. Okay.
Alright. Alright. Okay, so we have initiated the combat, and Claudia will go first because she rolled the highest. Okay? So Claudia gets up and then says, alright, we need to try to hit her with the syringe one more time in order to subdue her. So she runs up to Olivia. She runs up to Olivia here, and she tries to hit Olivia with the syringe again. Let me see if she's successful or not. She only rolled a 5. Doesn't quite make it. So Olivia jumps out of the way of her syringe. Alright? Now it is your turn. What will you do?
Do I have the syringe in my hand?
No! Claudia's the one holding the syringe. You have your short sword in your hand. And Claudia yells out to you, don't stab the orangutan! Otherwise Evelyn will kill us and we're not going to get paid!
Can I get the syringe from Can I get the syringe from Claudia?
Yeah. Or what you could do is you could also choose to attack the orangutan. For example, you could attack it with the broad side of your sword in order to distract it or something like that.
Well, do I have anything I can like throw or something like that create an opening for Claudia, or does it not work that way with this turn-based stuff?
Basically, what you want to do. So you're standing right now. You're standing near a bunch of barrels, and there's fish. There's fish in these barrels next to you. So if you want to, you could try throwing a fish in order to draw the attention of the orangutan away from Claudia.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's throw a fish.
Okay, so you grab a fish from one of the barrels, and you're gonna chuck a fish at the orangutan. Give me a dexterity check. Just roll a d20 again.
Okay.
Okay, you roll a d20, 5, and so basically, let me see. What do you think? You are throwing a fish. Okay, and that's going to be a let's see. That's going to be a straight up dexterity check. And so every time you use your dexterity, you get to add 2 onto it because you're dexterous. All right, so you threw a fish, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you throw a fish. Yeah, so that's actually a 7. And I'm going to say that because you're standing pretty close, it's not that far away. Your fish hits the orangutan. I'm going to draw a fish right here. This is okay, so you chuck this fish like that.
Yeah.
Looks a bit like a dong, but you chuck this sloppy fish right at the orangutan's face, okay? And so the orangutan is annoyed, and it's now staring at you, all right? Do you want to do anything else, okay? So you've used up your action, okay? But you still have movement, and your movement is 30, which means you can move 6 squares. Each square represents 5. 5 feet.
Well, let me move toward actually the orangutan, so this way Claudia can stab her in the back again.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's good.
Okay. All right. So right now, in this particular situation, I'll just explain it to you. You and Claudia right now are currently engaged with the orangutan. Okay. And so basically, what it means is that if one of you tries to move away, the orangutan gets a free attack of opportunity against you. It gets a reaction attack against you. But that also means that if the orangutan tries to move away, you get a reaction to use against her as well. Okay? So now the orangutan, the angry, outraged orangutan, is going to try to attack you guys. Okay? And so what does she do? The orangutan does a backflip. Okay, the orangutan does a mighty backflip, okay? And as she does a backflip, she kind of does like a flash kick. She kicks out at both of you at the same time. All right? And so it looks a little bit like this. Let's see. The orangutan will be trying to kick out at both of you with her flailing legs at the same time. And let me actually see if it hits. Let me just do a roll to see if it hits. Okay, so it's a 3, and then she gets a +6 to hit. So in total it's a 9. Okay, and do you remember what your armor class is?
No.
Take a look at your character sheet.
Armor is, I think, 12.
Yeah, your armor is a 12. Okay, so it misses. Okay, because she only rolled a 9 in total. Yeah, so it misses. So she does a flash kick, but it misses you. You dodge away, using your crazy detective skills. And Olive misses Claudia too, because Claudia is actually a 13. She's got slightly higher armor than you. All right, and so there's nothing more for the outraged orangutan to do but be pissed off because her her mighty flash kick missed. All right, so now we're back at the top again. And it's time for Claudia's turn, okay? We're back at the top of the combat order, and it's Claudia's turn. And then Claudia says, "Oh, this will teach you to try to kick me, you outraged orangutan." And then what she's going to do is she's going to try to first see if Hubert, her pet lamb, can attack from her bag of holding, okay? So let me just see if Hubert actually pops out of the bag of holding. Oh, no, she didn't roll high enough. It has to be a 12 or higher. She rolled a 10. Hubert, the stupid lamb that he is, stays in the bag of holding because he is too afraid to come out and battle an outraged orangutan. Okay? So Claudia starts cussing under her breath, and then what Claudia does for her next attack is she decides to whack the outraged orangutan with her quarterstaff because she's annoyed that it tried to kick her. Yeah, whack it right on the head with the quarterstaff. Alright, now let me just see. Okay, alright, let's see if it actually hits. Gonna do a roll. Oh, it's a natural 20 again. Claudia's rolling a lot of 20s. Okay, so she rolled a 20. And so the orangutan takes a powerful smack on the noggin. It does 9 damage to the orangutan. Okay, but you don't know how much HP the orangutan has. It's a pretty hard orangutan. It's pretty big. So Claudia smacked it on the noggin. All right, now it's your turn again. What do you want to do? Claudia's engaged in some violence right now.
I can't grab the syringe, right? That would be another action, right?
Because you're standing right next to her, it can be a bonus action, okay? Because she can just pass you the syringe, or you can just grab it from her if you want to.
Yeah, okay. I want to do that.
Okay. So you grab the syringe from Claudia, who's a little bit too worked up in attacking the orangutan at the moment. What are you going to do?
So I can't, like, can I have to do just one action, right? I can't, like, try to kick the orangutan and, like, or like distract it and then use the syringe.
Yeah, well, so basically you can do an attack, or you can choose to drive the syringe into it. Okay. Yeah, it has to be one or the other. Okay. Now, if you attack it and weaken it first, it might be easier to stab it with the syringe, because obviously a battered orangutan is going to be easier to stab with the syringe than one that's like flailing about. Or you can just try your luck and stab it, but it's all up to the dice at this point and the variables behind the scenes.
What else if I just throw it? Can I just throw it?
Oh, you want to throw the syringe like a ninja star?
I'm gonna throw the syringe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw the syringe like a ninja star. Okay. Describe how you're gonna throw it to me.
Well, so I'm holding it in my hand, right? And it's pretty close, right? It's what, like, I don't know, 6 feet or something, or less. I mean, not very far. Yeah. Probably less, 4 feet. So all I'm going to do is, throw it so that it doesn't spin at all. Okay. It lands point first with the needle in the heading forward, so it doesn't have to spin at all.
Okay.
So
gotcha. All right. So give me a D20 roll on that.
Okay.
Oh, 17! Pretty good, Joshua. Pretty good. All right. You rolled a 17. So Lester LeFoe, in a moment of inspiration, he throws the syringe like a ninja star, even though ninjas don't really exist in the world of the 13th Hour. The syringe pierces Olivia the outraged orangutan in the buttocks once more as she primes herself for another backflip. Okay? So Olivia the outraged orangutan lets out a mild moan as trank fills her entire being. Okay? And then she collapses into a pile on the ground. All right. Well done. I've changed the music again. All right. Post-battle music. Okay. All right. So the outraged orangutan, Olivia, is sleeping as calm as a baby. Okay, smothered in banana peels and kind of pieces and bits of banana, and with a big welt popping up on her buttocks now from the double stab of the syringe, and also a smaller welt on her head from the quarterstaff blow that Claudia inflicted. Okay? And so Claudia, who was a bit annoyed at first, suddenly realizes that she smacked Olivia in the noggin. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Olivia!" And then she's trying to, like, hide the bump, and then she's saying, "Oh, Evelyn's gonna be pissed at me for hitting Olivia on the head."
Oh well.
"Oh well, Lester, you truly have no compassion."
We'll put a hat over it. Put a hat over.
A hat? Well, you're not using my turban. You can put a fish on top of her if you want to. You threw a fish at her! What good did you think that was gonna do? Alright, so Claudia's walking around looking distraught, and then she reaches into her bag of holding, and then pulls out Hubert, her pet lamb, by like the scruff on the back of his neck, and it says, "Fat lot of good you were! You didn't even want to come out!" And then the lamb is like, "Bah!" And then she stuffs the lamb back inside the bag. Okay? And so keep in mind, this bag is like a big black hole, and the lamb is just like floating around in it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so so now what you guys gotta do is you can you gotta go and notify Evelyn, the owner of the zoo, that you've disabled the orangutan, because Olivia's quite large and you can't really move her. And so Claudia says, "I can go get Olivia if you want to wait here for maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. Why don't we tie up the orangutan?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So basically, there's like regular fishing implements around the docks, and so or hey, actually, there's a net right here. Remember?
Yeah, I was just thinking we could just use a net. Put the net over.
Okay. So yeah, walk over to it and get the net. Yeah, okay, so you pick up this net, and I can actually move it. Yep. Pick up the net and then put it right there.
Okay. Yeah.
And
okay.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, see, she's all tied up in the net right now. Okay. And then Claudia is going to go and get Olivia. Okay. And so Claudia goes off, and she basically just needs to go to Lura's Square. Okay, and she goes off, and she goes off to go get Olivia. Okay, and so you're left alone with the orangutan. Do you want to take a look at Olivia? You have maybe 10 minutes to kill before Claudia comes back.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so aside from the bumps and bruises that were inflicted on Olivia in the short but intense battle, you notice something strange on the orangutan's shin. It's like a welt, and there appears to be something sticking out of the welt.
Huh. Can I reach out and grab that thing?
Yeah, sure. You reach out and grab it, and you poke it out, and it's a dart. It's like a dart from a blowgun, kind of, and it's got a strange scent on it. And the tip of the dart is sort of like tipped in what almost looks like some kind of liquid.
I have that detective kit on me, right?
Yeah, you do have a detective kit on you. Yeah, the detective kit is a magnifying glass, a set of lockpicks, a file, okay, and a pair of pliers.
Okay. Is there anything to store like specimens, like little containers or anything like that?
Well, I'm gonna say that the detective kit just has it's sort of like a little bag, and there's like a compartment inside where you can probably store a container. Yeah.
Can I take the pliers and like try to get a little bit of like the hair or whatever that's around the area where the wound was?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you pull out your pliers, and you basically you do a little bit of digging, and you pull out some hair and some tissue sample from the area where the wound was. And what do you want to do with it? Do you want to store it away?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you store it away for further research. And I will let you know that in the LeFoe Detective Agency, you have the latest in chemical engineering and analysis. Basically, you have a shitty little chemistry kit.
Nice.
All right.
And can I look and see? I have a magnifying glass, right? So
Yes.
look and see if there's any other signs of, you know, like weirdness about the orangutan. If there's anything that look different about it.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you to do a check for this on your character sheet. And this type of check is going to probably be... It's going to be an investigation check, which you're skilled in. So you don't worry too much about rolling high. You have a... If you look on your character sheet, you're skilled in investigations, and any roll you make for an investigation check will have a +3 modifier on it. So give me just a d20 roll to see what you perceive. A 4! 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not that high. It would be nice if it were a bit higher, but it's not that high. But you perceive that it looks like someone shot this orangutan with a blowgun. That's all you can perceive, really. Shot it in the shin, and you know, you don't know much beyond that at the moment. Maybe if you analyze, you know, whatever was on the little dart, you'll be able to figure it out.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do at the moment?
I guess, you know, look to see, like, is the orangutan seem to be, like, you know, breathing what you think is normally for an orangutan, and
oh well, Joshua, you're not very skilled in animal handling, so you're gonna have to make a roll for this to see how much you can perceive.
Like I like to, you know, like look at his eyes and all that kind of stuff, like pull up.
Yeah, give me a roll. Give me a roll. Just
like the 20-sided.
Yeah, just a d20 roll. Yeah.
Okay.
You rolled a 9, and okay, you rolled a 9, and you get plus an additional point for animal handling, but that's only a 10. Okay, so in order to actually figure out what's wrong with Olivia, you would probably need to be fairly skilled in animal handling. So you rolled a 10, you probably would have needed to hit like a 15 or higher.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the moment all you can tell is that somebody shot the orangutan, and based on its behavior, it pissed off the orangutan. You don't know much else. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so now if you scroll your map down, you will see that Claudia is back.
Yep.
And alongside her, she's brought Evelyn, owner of the zoo, the Emporium that the orangutan escaped from, and she's brought 2 helpers along with her. These are the guys carrying the cart. Okay.
Okay.
And Evelyn is up here, and then Claudia is here, and Evelyn says, "Oh, Olivia, the orangutan! Oh no!" And so Evelyn comes over to the side here, and she's over here with her 2 helpers. Okay, 2 big, burly, strong guys. All right, and then they bring the cart over to. Oh, the cart's in the water right now, but they bring the cart over to the side here, and these big burly dudes pick up the crazed orangutan. They get rid of the net, they toss the net aside, and they pick up the orangutan, and then they pop her in the cart.
Okay.
Yep, they pop the orangutan in the cart and prepare to transport her back to Lura Square. And then Evelyn says, "Thank you so much, Lester. I really appreciate everything you've done for us. I don't know what I would have done if the Tartec police had gotten their hands on Olivia. They might have cut her head off or held her up in the town square as an example. Or maybe even King Darian might have hung her on Immortality Day. You can never tell what King Darian's going to do these days." Do you have any comforting words to say back to her?
It appears as if perhaps Olivia was not on her best behavior. I have a hunch that something may have been done to her, but let me get back to you on that.
somebody trying to sabotage my emporium? Olivia's topping back and forth, looking really pissed off. Well, I have no doubt that you'll find the culprits, Lester. You and Claudia get back to me once you know what's been going on. You can always find me in Lura's Square. I'll be there setting up for the big day, and I'll be there trying to treat poor Olivia as best as I can. And then she goes up to Olivia and is stroking the, the big old monkey's hair, and then she notices the big bump on its head. She says, "What is this?" And then Claudia, who's across the dock, says, poor old Olivia there slipped on a banana peel." And because Claudia has really high charisma, Evelyn believes her. And plus, the orangutan's covered in like banana peels and stuff like that. And then so Claudia is like, "Whew," and Evelyn is like, "Oh, stupid orangutan, don't worry, we'll get you fixed up nice and proper for the big day." Okay? And so Evelyn hands over payment to you. Okay? She hands over a small sack of gold coins. Okay?
Oh.
So actually, if you go to your character sheet right now and scroll to the bottom, and if you look at your inventory, you're actually pretty rich, Josh. Your old man left you with a sizable inheritance. So you have 50 gold pieces right now, and so as payment for procuring the escaped orangutan, you get 20 more gold. So you have 70 gold right now, and you can actually change that value for yourself.
Let's see, where is this?
On your character sheet, if you scroll down to the bottom where it says equipment, and it says GP.
Yes.
Yeah, so GP says 50 right now. You can change that to 70. You got 70 gold right now. Very nice. Yeah, change to 70. Okay, and if you notice, all like your weight changed a little bit too. Like the gold weighs a little bit more. Yeah, and so in this campaign I'm just using gold pieces. I don't like to screw around with copper or silver. It's too much maths. Yeah, I'm just using gold. Okay, so you've gotten your payment for for procuring Olivia, and then so Evelyn and her animal handlers, they take the cart with the escaped orangutan, and they carry it down the docks back in the direction of Lura's Square. Okay, and the escaped orangutan, Olivia, continues to sleep soundly as a baby thanks to the effort that you two put into stabbing her in the ass with a syringe. Well done. Alright, so they disappear and go off into the distance, and then Claudia comes over to you and says, "Well, Lester, that's the conclusion of another wonderful case. Great thinking on your part. Throwing a fish at Olivia. Yeah, very good."
I can honestly say I did not lay a hand on her.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, Lester, I need to get my cut as well of the payment. And so Claudia only has 20 gold right now. It's your job to pay her. How much do you want to distribute?
Well, I'm feeling generous, so she can have half.
Oh, that's very nice of you. So you give her 10?
Yeah.
Very good. I thought you were going to short charge her for taking a decisive action against the orangutan. All right.
No, that's good.
You give her 10. Claudia is poorer than you. She only has 35 gold at the moment. Okay, she's got 35 gold, and then so it's pretty late now. It's like an hour has passed. It's like 9-10 o'clock. And Claudia says, "Well, Lester, this was a mighty fine adventure, but I think it's about time for me to be getting ready for bed. I need to go back to Mother Methany Ann's boarding house. We're gonna have soup tonight. And you should get some sleep yourself, Lester. I can see you again in the morning."
Okay.
Yep. Alright, so do you guys want to leave the docks?
Yes, let's do that.
Alright, so you guys leave the docks and you are going to go back to the city. So you should be seeing the map of the city now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so you guys are on the docks, and then you guys are going to make your way back towards One Willow Avenue. So, you can make your way back towards One Willow Avenue. And you and Claudia both live on the same street. It's just that Claudia lives at a female boarding house further down the street. And so you both go to One Willow Avenue, and the sun starts to set, and it's getting dark right now. And you can see the remains of the outraged orangutans romp through the city. Some broken boxes and like some collateral damage that's been caused. And then Claudia, before she heads off to go to the boarding house down the street, reminds you that in the morning, or the next day, you might want to give Evelyn a visit in Loris Square. And then as you've been walking down the street, she also hands you, she's been writing down like a description of what happened, because this is what Claudia does. She likes writing case files of what happened. And so she, just before she goes off, she delivers to you a case file of, I'll show it to you.
Case of the outraged orangutan?
Yes. The case of the outraged orangutan. Case closed! So, it says, well, it all started when Miss Evelyn asked us to save her dear old Olivia, who had gone completely bonkers, bashed down the doors of her cage, and taken those furry fists of hers upside the heads of 1 or 2 upstanding gentlemen throughout town. The game was afoot before we knew it, and we had ourselves a case on our hands. A case of an outraged orangutan. We followed the trail of damaged and banana peels, and then chased Olivia down to the docks, where we tracked the old lady by the sound of her fruit-chomping teeth. It took a little bit of ingenuity to slap her around for a bit and trank her, and Lester did get his arse whacked up and down more than once, but that's really nothing new. In the end, we managed to stuff Olivia full of trank, and she fell asleep, gentle as a newborn babe. Evelyn came and carted her away, and we made a mad dash from the scene of the crime before them Tartec boys in blue showed up. Oh, and as Lester was inspecting Olivia for clues, he noticed the strangest thing. A little dart from a blowgun filled with some kind of poison, or maybe a stimulant. Whatever it was, it sent our furry friend into a frenzy, and the bastards who did it got a real sick sense of humor. Thus did the case of the outraged orangutan come to a conclusion. We still don't know who shot poor Olivia and caused her to fly into such a rage, but I got myself a feeling that we'll find out soon enough, and then beat their asses black and blue. Anyway, until then, case closed.
Case closed.
Yes. So this little thing will now be added to your journal. This description of the case of the outraged orangutan will be added to your journal for you to refer back to as you wish. All right, and you return back to the LeFoe Detective Agency at One Willow Avenue, and Claudia returns back to her boarding house, and the day comes to an end.
Let's see.
And that is it for now.
Okay, perhaps. Did I miss an opportunity to get Claudia in the sack?
To get Claudia? Oh, to get Claudia in the sack. She's 18 and you're 25, and she works for you. You're gonna be robbing the cradle, as they say.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, if you so desire, feel free to try flirting with Claudia as the adventure goes on. Do remember that she is the hired help, though.
There are other places to do those things in the city.
There are indeed, and by the way, so as we know from the world of the 13th Hour, the city of Tartec is a city where inappropriate interactions between unmarried men and women is frowned upon. However, in Lowtown, the area where you live in, there are areas where one can procure certain nightly activities if one wishes. However, you, Lester LeFoe, are also a little awkward around women. So if you wish to do such a thing, you're going to need to make some high rolls, because your charisma is very low. But you do have money. You do have money. So.
That's true. Now money can buy some alcohol.
That's true. So yeah, so you're back at your place, and that's it for today. You can choose to like open up a bit of whiskey and have a drink if you want to, but yeah, that's it. Unless you want to continue.
Yeah, no, that's a good place to stop for today.
Yeah.
Maybe just let Lester take it to the wank bank tonight, and
yes, Lester, who is a bit frustrated, all the time, mostly because of his dearly departed dad, and is under a lot of pressure to live up to the expectations of his father, Mortimer LeFoe. Ends the night taking it to the wank bank in his little bed in the LeFoe Detective Agency. What will Olivia do when she comes to clean the sheets in the morning? Or not Olivia, sorry, Claudia. What will Claudia Copperhoof do when she comes to clean the sheets in the morning and deliver them to the laundromat down the street? Thus is the great cliffhanger that we end on. All right. Well done. You stopped the orangutan, the outraged orangutan, from causing too much collateral damage. Any questions?
You know, this reminds me. There was a Sherlock Holmes story, I think, with an orangutan, wasn't there?
Yeah. So basically, this is what we can do at the end of like every session. You can ask me questions about the story and stuff like that, or what we just played, and I can describe it to you. It was not inspired actually by a Sherlock Holmes story. It's an Edgar Allan Poe story called Murders in the Rue Morgue, and it's actually known as like one of the very first detective stories. It doesn't star Sherlock Holmes, but it stars a detective like Sherlock Holmes, and he's investigating a series of murders, and the murderer is an orangutan that escaped and is going crazy and like throttling. I think it's like throttling or like killing like young girls in the city. And the funny thing about that story is that they always refer to the orangutan as orang-utang, like orang-utang. That's how they spell it. And I wanted to include an ode to that because I know how much you like orangutans. And I wanted to have the orangutan do a backflip at one part, try to do like a flash kick. But I also wanted to have like an ode to that original story.
Yeah. That I was like, I was wondering if like if perhaps the orangutan was going to play a part in the later potential assassination of the said liege of this realm.
The orangutan may or may not play a role in the assassination, but you don't know who tranked her. You don't know who tranked her. You don't know what the intent was. You know, sorry, not trank, but you don't know who poisoned her. So you're not exactly sure what the intent was. But you do have a dart, and then you know, next week you can analyze the dart using your little homemade chemistry kit in the LeFoe Detective Agency, and you'll get a glimpse at the little LeFoe Detective Agency, what it looks like, and perhaps you will get a call from a kingly persona, and learn more about certain events that were occurring at the same time that you and Claudia were battling Olivia at the docks. Okay.
The plot thickens.
The plot does thicken. So if you look at your little character journal on the side, you should now have a couple entries. You have Claudia Copperhoof, Evelyn, Lester LeFoe, Mortimer LeFoe, and I'm going to add one more. Yep.
The orangutan.
Olivia, the star orangutan of Evelyn's Emporium of the Exotic. Usually a happy girl who likes doing backflips and eating bananas. A dart from a mysterious blowgun made her go on the rampage. Who would want to do such a thing to a friendly orangutan? Who indeed? So yeah, this is now in your journal. You've taken down some notes about Olivia, and there you go. You can always refer back to it at any time you want.
Okay. Very nice.
Yep. So that's it. Good job.
Great. That was fun.
Yeah. Now you know. Yeah. Now you know how this whole program works, and stuff will play out like that. This is like a little introduction, but there will be more investigation later. Yeah. And if you want to, you can. I don't know if you can actually print out that character sheet of yours, but if you want to, you can just leave it on here. You can always refer to it any time on here.
Yeah. So is this sort of saved as we go along, like, or I don't know if you want to, like, it's sort of like that stays in your profile, I guess.
Everything stays. All the information stays.
Oh. Well, that's really nice. It's very convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient. So one thing you can do later in the future, if you open up your character sheet, the next time you're in combat, you have quite a bit of capabilities. Sneak attack, cunning action, insightful fighting, eye for detail, and eye for deceit. So remember that you always have the potential to use those later on as combat gets more interesting. And eye for deceit, whenever you think somebody's lying to you, you can always choose to use that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you want to choose to use an ability on your character sheet, you can always, if you hover with your mouse over any of these abilities, you can see that like there's a little word balloon on the side of it. You can always click that, and it will show up on the right hand side the log of everything that's been going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool.
Cool, yeah. One thing you might want to do later, I don't know if you have like headphones, but playing with headphones might be good too, because there is some feedback from like the music coming from your speakers that will get picked up in the recording. Because I recorded this whole thing actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recorded this whole thing. So maybe potentially, you know, if you want to, you could dig up with headphones, but it's not like major feedback. So up to you.
I'll have to experiment with it. So the recording picks up whatever's coming through the computer.
It picks
audio?
up It picks up everything coming from my computer. So it picks up everything that I hear, and it picks up all the audio from you. So it's like I can hear your voice, and I can hear like some feedback from the music a little bit. And I'll check the recording later. I don't think it'll be that major, but I'll give it a look later and see what it sounds like.
Let's see. Let me just see what like.
Yeah, try putting in headphones and seeing.
Actually, let me just use these.
And I will actually stop the recording here right now, because I think we've got enough.